Bump,
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 ba-da-dum, bump,
bump,
bump.
bump.
One final Bindi for the season here on a Tuesday morning. Welcome to the
Lasers are
wrap
for
up.
winners.
Yes, losers are or lasers. Lasers are for winners. Losers are not for winners. Lasers are for winners. Welcome to a final edition of the Blue Review for the 2025 season, presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman and Parker Bell, and really just wanted to come back with you guys and celebrate one last time. Greg, I mean, we just it's been an amazing season. We had the amazing World Series, the great wrap up. It felt incomplete, not at least being able to sort of recap the day of celebration that was the parade yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to do. And also, we just want to say thank you to all the chat. And if you I really want to try and get to as many questions as possible. So throw them up on the screen if you can, Parker. When you see anything in there, then let's get some questions out there. Just to have a nice interaction for the last 25 minutes of Blue Review for this year. There'll still be other Blue Reviews. If something happens, if there's a trade or a signing or something, some kind of news, we'll pop on here. But otherwise, I think this is just a moment to say thank you to everybody, celebrate the win with you all, and on not with a big agenda like we had to talk about the World Series yesterday.
Right.
Just having a nice conversation.
Do want to give a shout out one last time to LAX, as always, transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. The People Mover train right around the corner. So if you want more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. I see one from Isaac Villa. Will Parker burn his Angels?
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go first.
That's good. Here, let me throw it up on the chat there. Okay, you could see everybody. I am wearing, of course, the limited edition, whatever we're calling this, Dodgers World Series hat. It's going to be tough to burn any Dodgers gear because I don't think I have any.
Not Dodgers gear, Angels gear.
Excuse me, Angels gear. I don't think I have any that fits. I haven't had an Angels jersey.
Make it easy to burn it then.
Since they made the playoffs, and that was what, 2008, 9. 12 obviously, but still
obviously, because everybody remembers
I was like, you said 8 or 9. I'd be like, that sounds right.
Sure. If you would have said 2002, I would be like, yeah, makes sense.
It's a unique situation, of course, as many people who end up working in media go through, and we can have this conversation now because it is the last episode of the 2025 season. It's a matter of where you're born and where you end up falling in love with covering the sport. And I just want to say, since I've been doing full-time Blue Review, back to back, baby. So, coincidence? I think not, guys. So I think you might want to let me hang around a little longer, chat. It's just been so much fun covering this Dodgers team, this team specifically. Like I said early on when I first did episodes, I go where Ohtani goes, baby. And I'll go with him till the ends of the earth. That's my GOAT, and he ended up falling in love with this team, and I think I did too, because there's just nobody that you can dislike on this team. You saw it yesterday. I was there on the field. We were there. We remember I was there on the field, just seeing this team and the vibes and the speeches that everybody gave. It was just like Glasnow said it best. I feel like Glasnow and Snell right now. Hey, look at
can't beat him, join him.
Can't beat him, join him.
So I mean, I know you, because you were an Angels fan and stayed an Angel fan throughout this. I can't give you full credit for being on the Blue Review full time for the two wins. Now, the person that I can give full credit to for being on the Blue Review full time on the Blue Review is Marcus Grant over there. Marcus Grant, as soon as he jumped on the Blue Review, we have gone back to back. I can give him full credit because he's a true Blue Dodgers fan and was doing it because he wanted to talk about the Dodgers with us. It took you a while to get. I think you're ingratiated now, but that's why our group chat is Dodgers and Parker.
We are. I feel like we can adopt. We should
adopted it.
We should talk to Jeff Spiegel about whether or not we can rename the group chat, because it was Jeff's executive decision. So we should talk to him about that as well. I'm glad to be a part of this. It's been amazing. It's been a great ride. Especially having gone from, I'll say this, because for me, in 1988, I was still in the Bay Area. I was 11 years old, and I was definitely a bigger A's fan. I kind of like the Dodgers. I was a much bigger A's fan at the time. And so for me, the Kirk Gibson home run doesn't have quite the same feeling because I loved Dennis Eckersley at the time. But after having moved down here in the 90s, for college and really locking in and suffering through all those years, going through the McCourt years, going through the Fox years weren't great. They were a damn sight better than the McCourt years. And then waiting till 2020 to finally get one. And then in 2020, having everybody say that it didn't count, right? Because it wasn't the full season, because they played, in the bubble, they played in stadiums with no fans. And so for them to come back and get it in 24 and back it up in 25, shutting up all the haters, it's a great feeling, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it. I'm glad I got to kind of experience it this way, to be in a group, kind of have this communal experience with you guys, with Jeff, with the chat, with everybody. It's been a lot of fun. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I see this in the chat real fast. It says from Isaac Villa, and thank you, Sherry. Just want to say we appreciate you being in here the whole time. Sure. Isaac Villa did say early on, very up there, can we get extended episodes next season? That's one that I think is a little bit interesting. We can, I think, not for the regular season. Maybe we can talk about extending the episodes down the line, but that also means that it starts at 6, and I don't know if anybody's trying to start at 6.
I love y'all. I don't know if I love y'all that much.
6:30 is a early time frame, so we appreciate you being in at 6:30.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'll have 7 coffees by then.
A lot of questions, obviously, about free agency, who's coming, who's going.
Here's a good comment.
On the screen. That's a
thanks. Now, wait, quickly, because Dodger Dog had been here for a good amount of the season, I have something for them. Here's our new overlay. How do you like that?
Side note to that.
I like it.
Apropos of nothing, I saw something that, because obviously today is election day, so go out and vote if you haven't already. Yep. Here we get a sticker. Apparently in Australia, they give you a hot dog if you vote.
Really?
I mean, look, it's the internet, so it very well could be a lie, but that is what I saw a couple of days ago, that in Australia they give you hot dogs.
Might have to move to Perth.
So this one from Clumsy Chrissy. Who is the season's MVP?
Oof. Okay.
It's an interesting question. I mean, we could go around, and I mean, Shohei obviously jumps in as like the leading candidate for that. I don't know.
I think there's only 2 answers, even possible answers to this.
Yeah.
It's either Shohei or it's Yamamoto, and I think for the most part, for the regular season and the postseason combined, I think it's Shohei, just because he did such amazing things. He led this team again. I mean, no matter what you want to say about a couple of games that he had poor, he had amazing games in between all of them. He broke MLB records seemingly every month at a very high clip, and he did different things. He was 50-50 in a different way with a 50 strikeout, and he pitched, so he had the 50 strikeouts and the 50 home runs. I mean, to me, and I don't think it's really much of a question that it's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. He is. I mean, I think if you go top to bottom, he is the MVP. There are guys that obviously stepped in and played important roles along the way. Weirdly, whatever Max Muncy meant to this lineup, had a big part in it. I mean, there were moments when, of all people, Clayton Kershaw was sort of keeping this pitching staff afloat at times in the midseason. When
Ben Kasparius.
I mean, a lot of those guys just coming. Look, there was a stretch in that last month or so, like late August, early September, when Ben Rortvedt was just as important to this team as anybody. I mean, catching good games, working behind the plate, and doing just enough offensively to make a difference with this team. So, I mean, you can't win a World Series without getting contributions from a lot of different people. But yeah, man, Shohei Ohtani is a phenomenon. He just is. That's all there is to it.
I mean, Yamamoto is only in the conversation because he was healthy the entire year. He never went on the IL and showed who he was, and then really put it out on the table in the postseason, just being unbelievable throughout the entire postseason. That's why he's the World Series MVP. I mean, he went back-to-back complete games in the NLCS and the World Series. That's just silly.
Yeah, I mean, hey, co-MVP. Because when you got 2 players from the same team who are at the literal top of the league when it comes to, end of the year awards, and it's like the most perennial awards, then I think you got to go co-MVP, a Cy Young candidate and a MVP candidate. Of course, Shohei is taking that award.
Yeah.
It might be tough just based off of regular season stats that some of the other guys put up, but gosh, just there are so many little awards I think you could give out to this team, guys, because it was just so fun to watch, like the ups, the downs. It was stressful during a long period of time, and the fact that they were able to pull it out is so freaking amazing. Like just the idea that the locker room never really faltered, I think, is what I appreciate most about this team. They went through like some really, really tough stretches of Dodgers baseball, some of the worst stretches of Dodgers baseball that we've seen actually in years, and they never really let themselves get down. They just continued to work through it. And even when they were down, guys like Mookie said, well, bleep it, season's over. I'm just going to do what I can to help this team win.
I don't know that there was a lower point in the season than the game in Baltimore. And you guys know what I'm talking about. The Yamamoto.
Jesus, that hurt so much.
Yamamoto 8 2/3,
Two-thirds,
no hit. And he gives up the home run to Jackson Holiday. But at that point, you're like, okay, it's fine, whatever. You need one out. It's fine. And to end up losing that game. But from that point on, to the end of Game 7 of the World Series, they were 28-9. From that point on.
It's wild.
It was that. I mean, I think that for this team was absolutely rock bottom. It was the point where it's like, okay, this is just not acceptable. And they turned it up and they figured it out. So you want to talk about the highs and lows of a baseball season. How long will it take them to re-sign Kike and Miggy? Hopefully not long. I know Rojas says he wants to play one more year. He wants to stay with the Dodgers. I would hope and believe that is an easy negotiation, that they knock that out pretty quickly. I would think even for Kike Hernandez, I think at this point, he is a Dodger, I mean, I know he's been other places, but his little sojourn in Boston for a couple of years, like his sabbatical in Boston.
He skipped over it in his speech. He said the last decade has been an honor to strictly Dodgers fans.
I was waiting for him to kind of mention it, but obviously it didn't happen. But I would think that they want him back. Here's the thing: let Kike do whatever he wants until October. Just make sure you're ready for October.
Right. So Kike, if you remember, he actually took a little while to re-sign. It took quite some time. It wasn't until the new year that he re-signed. Miggy, I wonder if there's a part of Miggy, if he wants to play again, obviously, yeah. But I think there's a part that Miggy could say, like, my last moments on the field were hitting a 9th inning home run, throwing a guy out at home in the World Series, and having such amazing plays that, maybe they just put him on the coaching staff, have him as maybe not a bench coach, but a coach somewhere within the organization, and just stay a specialist coach that just stays on the team and just helps out. I mean, I would say no one's going to say no to him being back, but it is a tight roster. And if you're going to start adding people, it gets interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I would think and obviously, the organization, Miguel Rojas, have a lot to do with it. I would love to see Miguel Rojas is like a roving infield instructor. And I say that because of what he did with Mookie Betts. The fact that Mookie admitted multiple times that he leaned on Miguel Rojas as he was adjusting to shortstop, and how Rojas really helped him defensively. It would be great to sort of have that knowledge in the organization, just from top to bottom. I mean, obviously the major league level, it's great. It's certainly the more high profile one. Like there's no glamour in going to like Great Falls, Idaho, right, and teaching guys to play shortstop. There's no glamour in it, but man, it's so important. And to have a guy like Miguel Rojas do that, and I say that as somebody who spent a couple seasons in the minor leagues and getting to talk to and meet and know some of those roving instructors and seeing how much they work, but how important they are to organizational success. I think a guy like Miguel Rojas could be great at it, and I think it would be a big boost to the organization as a whole, for sure.
Yeah, we do need to address him as such. World Series hero, Miguel
World
Rojas.
Series hero, Miguel Rojas. I will
Los,
echo. I will echo what John Ireland said yesterday, that if Miguel Rojas and Yoshinobu Yamamoto ever pay for a drink again in this town, that we have failed as a
No.
fan base.
absolutely. If you see him out, you just buy him a drink anyway. He can
Just
John
because.
Ireland, John Ireland can tell you the whole story, his Kobe story, which I'm sure everybody's heard 50,000 times. That he saw Kobe and he wanted to buy him a beer, but he had like 100 beers underneath him that people kept buying him. That has to be the exact same thing. And by the way, Los Muncie has a club option for 10 million.
Yes.
Right. It's club option. So there, you'd imagine $10 million. They're going to bring Max Muncie back. That shouldn't be much of an issue.
There's been like places in this is very LA. There's been places in like Little Tokyo. I think the Far Bar were giving away shots for a long stretch of time. Every time Shohei hit a home run, like they were giving up sake bombs. So I think
did they run out of sake?
Now people need to start doing that with Yamamoto. You know, not every strikeout or something. He's going to have 200 plus every year at this point, but every win maybe kind of get some free shots, free food for Yamamoto, because he is now cemented in LA and Dodgers history. He's up there with the greats.
The stat that I want someone to research, I don't know if we'll ever find this number, is
Call Jeff.
I don't even think Jeff is going to have this number, but how many jumbo jacks were given away this year? How many free jumbo jacks were claimed across the Southland this year because of the number of strikeouts for Dodgers pitchers? I don't know.
That's a good. I'm gonna see if they have some. Was it AI generation? The exact total number of jumbo jacks given away for the 2025 Dodgers season is not yet known.
All right.
So, it's not net known. So 2024, they had 118 times out of 162 regular season games, and they're currently on pace. They were earlier this season, I think, in like July, to annihilate that mark.
Okay.
So we should find out soon, and we'll have a whole Blue Review episode dedicated.
All right. So Roy Estrada in the chat says, "Don't buy into the narrative that the Blue Jays were the better team. They played better, and there's a difference. We sleptwalked through series and rode the coattails of starting pitching." I think there's some not miscommunication, but it's interesting because the Blue Jays were not the better team. They just played better in the series. The Dodgers were the best team in baseball. There's no team that was better than the Dodgers. They were that way the whole year, even when they were losing games. But the Blue Jays were playing better baseball in the World Series. The Dodgers found ways to win, and because they slugged better and they got the pitching when they needed it the most.
And I think that's an important distinction, right? The better team versus the team that was playing better, and I think that's sort of an important thing there. Isaac Villa saying, here in New York, our Dodgers bar gave out free beer for an Ohtani home run. His 3-bomb game ended that real quick.
That's it.
That's funny. There's a question from KD. Any interest in Suarez or Diaz as a closer? Edwin Diaz is in free agency. Robert Suarez is also hitting free agency.
So I'm going to say no. I wonder what you guys think. Robert Suarez is a really, really good pitcher. He gives up jacks in big moments. And Edwin Diaz is good too, but he kind of isn't. I don't think the closer is such a weird thing. Like I'm not totally. I'm going to get killed for this, but
I know
I'm not convinced that Tanner Scott's not going to be good next year.
I'm with you.
More years.
I'm with you. One, they're tied to him for a few years, so they sort of have to try it again. I think job number one for Tanner Scott, I think he would tell you this too, is figure out what went wrong this year and try to correct that. So I'm with you. This was a terrible year for him, but I'm not totally out on the experience.
I mean, both brown and yellow, they got the past, and I know that they both have had really good years at different times in their career. So it's just a matter of which former Padre you're going to trust. And they already put their money. Friedman already put his money where his mouth is. So I don't think necessarily they're going to go after a big closer if you're looking at that, KD. But I mean, maybe go after another Suarez. Maybe a little Ranger.
Then you're going to starting pitching. I mean, our starting pitching is pretty elite.
Here's the thing about that too. Landon Knack will be back and available after all season.
River Ryan
close.
River Ryan is going to be back. Throw in the fact that in the bullpen you'll be getting Evan Phillips back,
right?
After missing him all year. Michael Kopech the good and the bad of Michael Kopech. It's going to be another arm. Brewstar Gratterall, another arm that's going to be available. So you're starting to get some of those guys back that were important for you in 2024. They should be back for 2026, which is going to be nice as well. So it's like adding free agents without having to spend any extra money.
Yeah.
So.
How do you feel about Kyle Tucker? We talked about this on Mason Ireland. Kyle Tucker, Harrison Bader, or Stephen Kwan. He was a Gold Glover again.
Yeah. I mean, Kwan gives you a solid bat at the top of the lineup. I don't know where you slot him in, though, right?
He's left field. That's it. He is left field.
He's also the only left field. I mean, here's the thing. I like the idea of Bader just because I think it gives you a solid center fielder, right? And Pages improved a ton this year, but I still think I like the idea of Pages and that cannon of an arm in right.
Sure.
Put Bader in center, put Teo in left. So like it's hard to deny how good Tucker can be when he's right and everything's going well. I think Bader solves one of the biggest issues, which is outfield defense for this team.
Yeah. Which is absolutely necessary. We saw a whole bunch of he made some great diving catches over and over again. His bat kind of goes silent at times, but I think a lot of those guys have silent bats. It's gonna be interesting what they do.
But I also think you put Bader in that 9 spot. I mean, I think you just slot him into the 9 spot ahead of Shohei. It is like having a second leadoff hitter potentially.
It's dangerous.
There, you know?
I like Kwan. I think that listen, if Mookie freaking Betts can move from right to short, then you can go play right, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a world that too that maybe it's just one and it's just a right fielder because the Pages portion of it all. I mean, if he's not in center field in the top of the the top of the 10th or the bottom of the 10th or the bottom of the 9th.
Bottom of the 9th.
Bottom of the 9th. Yeah, bottom of the 9th.
Bottom of the 9th.
With that
series is over.
Yeah, that catch over Kike Hernandez, series is over. That's Pages and he stole home runs a whole bunch this year. His bat picked up through the whole year. He had like 26 home runs and I think 80 some RBIs.
He was second to Shohei in home runs.
Yeah. He just couldn't hit in the playoffs, which a lot of guys can't hit. A-Rod comes an example for guys that couldn't hit in the playoffs. Aaron Judge has moments where he can't hit in the playoff, but it's so I don't know. I feel like Pages figuring out his bat might be just have him be your everyday center fielder.
Yeah. So these are questions that will be answered at a later date, and at some point we'll come back and we'll talk about all of them. By the way, just going through the Dodgers roster of guys who showed up and participated. I mean, shout out to Austin Barnes and James Outman and Chris Taylor and Estuary Ruiz and Buddy Kennedy and Eddie Rosario and Hunter Fiducia and Chucky Robinson. Like all these guys
Chucky Robinson.
Who showed up there. I mean, Tony Gonsolin, who we forgot, Matt Sauer, High Levy Lou Trevino, some innings. Alexis Diaz, who showed up, and Yoendris Gomez.
This is like an in memoriam.
It is. It's like the end credits there in a movie. So many guys who are JP Fire.
They all get rings. They all get rings.
Bobby showed up in a big way. And and a special shout out, by the way, to Alex Vesia, who was such a huge part of the season, and obviously the best to him and his family with the issues they're dealing with. So wish him certainly the best. But as big a part, as an important part of this ball club as anybody who pitched or played during the World Series as well. So
and yes, Michael Conforto gets a ring too.
Michael Conforto is a World Series champion. That will always be on his tombstone. He can go to MLB Network and get a job, and they can put up their World Series champion right there when they do.
Yeah, and if he ever, as long as if he just plays the Giants over and over and over,
he's a Hall of Famer.
Then he's great. Yeah,
he's a Hall of Famer if he plays the Giants over and over again. You guys in the chat have been absolute Hall of Famers for us this year. Yep. We're certainly grateful for it. We appreciate it. We were definitely concerned how many folks would make the move to 6:30 a.m. And y'all showed up like champs. And so we're certainly grateful for it. So appreciate all of you. We appreciate LAX. We appreciate everybody who's been a part of this thing. I appreciate y'all for letting me kind of hang out with you for the last couple of years. And for this year, letting me drive the train. It's been great. Appreciate you, Greg. Appreciate you, Parker, for all your creative input on this thing. It's been absolutely amazing. So
appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Marcus.
For the final time, in the 2025 MLB season. This has been the Blue Review presented by LAX. Thanks to all of you for all of your love and support and just generally being here and interacting with us. We're so grateful for it. So for Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. Stick around. The Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Go Dodgers. We'll talk to you all again real soon.
See you.
Yeah, we always joke like Michael